What's up, YouTube? We're doing we're gonna do a tutorial on how to grease your wheel bearings on your Can-Ams. Got George here helping me. We'll walk us through the process. Here's all the tools you need. You need needle nose pliers. I use the cutters just to make it easier. A 30mm impact socket, 15mm impact socket, a hammer, a couple screwdrivers, miscellaneous, a 19mm impact socket, a grease gun, and this little thing right here. It is from catechusa.com. I was told it works for all Can-Ams, so we'll see. All right, me and George are gonna knock it out. First, you're gonna get it off the ground, safe and securely, and then throw your 19mm for your lug nuts and pop them all off. NASCAR style. Next, you're gonna pull your brake caliper bracket. It's 2 bolts on the back side. Let me get on the back side and show what we got going on here. 2 bolts right there. 2 bolts right, or another bolt right there. And then you want to support it, so I forgot to tell you, but grab a bungee strap and hang it from the top of your shock mount. It's where your cable ain't got a bunch of the weight laying on it. Next up, go back around George one more time. Pop the little nut cover off. And then you got a cotter pin, straighten them out. That's why I like using them. Sometimes you can use the thin ones, get it straight, pull it through, just like that. Next up, your 30mm. Throw it on there and get to cranking. You got a nut, and then you got a washer as well. You want to get them both off. Then wiggle your hub out, just like that. Sometimes it'll be a little harder where you gotta like articulate your axle a little bit while you're pulling. It helps if you got 3 hands, which I don't know anybody that does. All right, next, we're gonna go ahead and slide the fitting on. You're gonna have to articulate the axle a little bit. Slide it in as flush as you can get it. There you go. We like leaving it at the top because the grease will naturally fall down, and it's nice to have somebody here with you who can hold the axle, back of the axle, into the bushing. Coming out. You gotta keep an eye on, make sure it ain't coming out the back of your hub here.
Yeah, it's coming out.
On the back.
Yeah, what if it pulled out just a tiny bit?
Did it work? There you go. This is our first time using it. There, look, see the grease comes out the top right there?
You pump it one.
And then push it up. I'll pump it. You good?
Yep, it's starting to come out the bottom now.
All right, let's give the viewers what they want to see. There's grease all the way around now. And that bearing is greased up. That simple. And then when you get done, pop the thing out. Take your rag. Wipe down all the excess. Probably don't need to, but it'd be cleaner. It's cleaner this way. All right, after you got all the access off, you're gonna go ahead and reassemble, starting with your hub. You're gonna put it on. We like to grease up the down here in the splines a little bit, just to aid it in getting on there a lot easier. A couple pumps should be good. You know, you might have to grab your axle, articulate it a little bit where it's straighter, and then once you do that, and make sure, don't force it on. You want to make sure all the splines are lined up pretty good where you're not beating the splines together. See how George is playing with it to get it, make sure it's all right. And it also helps if you like push down on the axle. The top needs to go in higher. Sometimes you just gotta stop back over, try it again. Ain't no thing, take your time. There it goes. This is what you want to hear, and that's what you want to see. Put your washer on, your castle nut. You don't want to cross thread it, so George went backwards till he caught, then went on. Threw some threads on there and make sure it ain't getting cross threaded. Take your 30mm socket. Now you want to start checking. You can see the castle nut hole right here. You want to get it to where it lines up. You have to keep popping it until you get there. Put your cotter pin in there. There you go. Take your pliers and bend it to where it ain't gonna come off. It helps when you get the bend going, then you can just tap it with a hammer and it makes it super easier. And there's that. Next up, your axle hub cover, center cap, whatever you want to call it. It's on there good. Next up, brake caliper. You want to separate your brake pads to where they go over your caliper, because while they were hanging, they could have got pinched together. Slide it on over there. It's a newer machine, so the brake pads are still pretty fresh, so you'll have to fight with it. But the more wear you got on, it's a good time to check your brake pads right now. But like I said, he's only got like 120 miles, and they're still pretty new. Get the 2 bolts. I'm sure there's torque specifications that they're going to want you to use. We just go till it's tight. After that, next up, put the wheel back on. Easy to start at the top and then line all 4 of them up. You don't want to cross your lug nuts or anything, so you definitely want to get about 5 or 6 turns on these bad boys before you throw any power to them, and make sure the wheel is flush. Because if you tighten one all the way up, it'll kick it out, and then you could have some wheel wobble problems, strip your lug nuts out, and your wheel's falling off. And that's all she wrote. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, and subscribe.